Hare Krishna. Hope you are doing well. Let's get started with this question on probability computation involving order statistics. We'll see that these prerequisites are essential. Okay. The thing about this question, which makes it more adventurous, is that we are given an order statistic which is not an extreme order statistic. I have been telling multiple times that if it's extreme order statistics, which is largest or smallest, things are usually easy to deal with. But now we have something that's in between. Good for us, it's still close by to um, the extreme order statistic. And if we encounter systems or questions where we are to deal with structures that are kind of intermediate structures and difficult to deal with, it could be helpful to see how they just connect to the whole system if it's easier to deal with the whole system. So, what we know about the X order 2, second order statistic is that everything more than this x order n, x order n minus 1, and so on and so forth up till x order 3. They are all greater than x order 2. That's by definition. So if x order 2 is greater than theta, then everything more than x order 2 has to be greater than theta. So that makes it indicative that if we somehow just do a mutual exclusive exhaustive thing on x order 1, maybe we'll get to something easy to deal with. And we take the intersection on the two possible complementary events, and this divides this setup into a union of two setups. In the first one, there is the event where everything is greater than theta. Good to deal with because we know theta is the median. So there's like a probability of half coming in. And then there is this other setup where everything but one element is more than theta and exactly one element is less than or equal to theta. So this helps us into redefining this event as the event that out of all the observations given to us, all the seven observations, at most one observation, which means either zero or one observation can be less than equal to theta. Once we have reached to this alternate definition of the event, it gets easy because we can now define another variable which is a sum of indicator functions. The indicator is that xi is less than equal to theta and you are summing it over 1 to 7. So we know that this thing is essentially linked with the probability of the event. So it's 1 with probability half because we are dealing with the median and 0 with probability half. So it's a Bernoulli distribution. Sum of Bernoullis is binomial. Sum of independent and identical Bernoullis is definitely binomial, which is the case over here. So that works to our advantage. So we just need to end this sum neatly with careful examination of what the probability is in terms of the second variable that we have created, which is a function of the first variable only. And just use that binomial version and compute the answer. 1 by 16. So in decimals, it's 0.0625. So yeah, that's it. Hare Krishna. And the last thing that I have to say about what Krishna has to say to Arjun as well as the students, each on their own battlefield, one in Mahabharat, another in the competitive examination. Now, the context is this entire war for Arjun in Mahabharat, for the student in competitive examination. The reason for this entire war being fought is to get to a state of, peace or happiness, right? So Krishna is now addressing that very root directly. It's the end game now. He's clearly making this assertion. One who is not connected with the Supreme, now, however you want to call it, Supreme Truth, Supreme Consciousness, Supreme God, if there is no connection over there, there is no transcendental intelligence, there is no steady mind. Without a steady mind, how can you go about your peace and happiness? So essentially, after all of these explanations and build up, Krishna is attacking the root of the problem, that this entire happiness optimization game that you are playing in some way or the other, whether you know it or not, without connecting with the Supreme, you cannot you cannot win this game. So that is what Krishna is ultimately coming to, that connect with that Supreme. And in the last video for this series, let's see how there is one way to do that. Until then, take care. Hare Krishna.